sinus problems. Those problems actually can be related to snoring too. You know, as you can imagine, your airway is right there, your nose is right there. You have to breathe through it. If somehow it's closed down, so the air is not going through, it's going to cause the muscle to vibrate, or the soft tissue to, and causes snoring. The fourth one, we kind of touched on it, out of shape, overweight. So being obese or overweight is a huge factor for the biggest portion of the snoring population. That part is actually kind of nice because it makes this reversible if we can lose weight. Like Kurt was just mentioning, if you lose a good amount of weight, that snoring problem may just go away.
Which I was very lucky with that.
You know, you don't have to lose that much weight to see the benefit, though. 5%, 10% weight loss can make huge difference.
That's good to know for all of you out there who don't have the 80 pounds to lose that I have.
And plus, the other health benefit too. You know, it's not just helping with the snoring. You know, it's helping with everything else. And
a little bit later in the show, we actually have a couple of specialists that talk about some dental gear. They're actually the foremost manufacturers of sleep apnea equipment, whether that's due to snoring or it's more important that they get you to sleep well. But part of that, the reason you're not sleeping well, is that you're snoring. So it's kind of a byproduct. So we're going to be bringing them on the show in our next segment. So we appreciate them being available. Also, just getting, one of the things that's so important to get good sleep, I mean, when you get into sleep apnea, obviously you could be wrecking your cars, you can be losing your driver's license eventually, you could be falling asleep at work. There's so many bad things that can happen as a result of sleep apnea. But a couple of positive things that can happen that I've learned recently, if you're out there working out, and we actually have an athlete who's going to be introduced on the show a little bit later, when you're out there working out, you create a lot of acid in your body, and then you need to get rid of those toxins. So sleeping well, not just sleeping a number of hours, but sleeping well during those hours is very important so your body can detox and cleanse and also rebuild. Let's say that you really had a strong workout lifting weights. You know, getting ripped has a double meaning there, that you're actually ripping those muscle tissues, and now they're re-healing. You need to have good rest during that time, and I've been told anyway that getting a good amount of good sleep is just as important as the workout itself. So just a little bit of tidbits why you want to sleep well.
Are you implying that snoring can be related to good sleep?
Yeah, so in other words, if you're not snoring, you actually sleep a little bit better. So it isn't just your spouse or your significant other that sleeps better, it's yourself.
I think, yes, it is true that when you're exhausted, you're more likely to snore.
Right.
But if you are rid of the muscle problems, no matter how tired, hopefully you won't snore and you still get a quality sleep. So
right, that's the idea, is that you just, anything you can do to get a good night's rest, and by the way,
we're going to touch that.
I'm sure we're going to talk about that. So I'm jumping ahead a little bit, we'll talk about that in another segment.
That's good you jump ahead. Actually, we should actually do a little disclaimer too. You know, snoring can be just more than something, a nighttime annoyance. It could be more than that. It could be a serious health issue, like you mentioned. So serious snoring, especially related to sleep apnea, people should seek doctor's advices to have you checked out. Are you truly having sleep apnea? Because that's pretty severe. You can be stopping breathing. By definition, sleep apnea means at night you're breathing and you stop breathing. That's sleep apnea. And certain studies, something called sleep study, can show clearly how severe the condition is and what the indications or ramifications should be.
Absolutely. And I think all of us are fans of great rest, but if I could just say, to go back to what I was saying, Staying away from chemicals as much as possible. Great idea. You have all these commercials that talk about getting a good night's rest and sleeping well, and then I've just been amazed. Some of the side effects that they have to disclaim at the end include death. So, I'm like, it's not worth it, You go out there and find some natural means, and not, when I say natural, I mean non-chemical means to be able to sleep well.
Kurt, did you know this is actually what you're talking about? The chemicals can be the cause of snoring.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The mechanism underneath is that these alcohol, smoking, medications, they can actually increase your muscle relaxation.
What?
Makes this floppiness of soft tissue in the throat area worse, which is going to promote more snoring. So if you're a mild snorer, that normally you don't snore that much, if you take the medication or if you have had alcohol, I think 3 to 4 hours before going to sleep, you're more likely to snore.
Very interesting.
Right. And the other thing is people tend to think alcohol is a great remedy for insomnia. But is it true? So when we come back, we're going to talk about the chemicals, including alcohol, smoking, a little bit more on its effect on sleep.
Excellent. So thanks again for tuning into the Ageless Living Show here on Voice America and World Talk Radio. This is Kurt Wilhelm, your co-host of the show, and
This is Dr. Tong Lee. We'll be right back.